Hello, very good evening and welcome to Straight TV Primetime News. I'm Kalum Bandara and let's look at the headlines first.
UN urged to abolish 18th Amendment. Subramaniam Swamy wrote once again to President Rajapaksa. Will Narendra Modi change India?
People in Media-Badda and Haldumulla area gathered at Hindu temples and engaged in religious activities to remember the deceased. To mark the 7th day of the dead, shops in the surrounding towns such as Hapatale and Pusalla were also closed today. Meanwhile, Northern Provincial Council Chief Minister C.V. Vigneshwaran toured in the landslide hit Media-Badda area last morning. Our correspondent said that part of the Media-Badda Kovil were found during yesterday's search operation, but no bodies were found. The rescue operation at Media-Badda were halted for 20 minutes last afternoon after the Building Research Institute issued a warning of another possible landslide in the area.
Major General Manu Pereira said that though the area experienced rains yesterday, the engineering unit of Sri Lanka Army with the support of others are continuing operations in the area. Meanwhile, the National Building Research Organisation says that with increase of rains, the threat of landslides has further intensified. Senior geologist at the landslide unit of the NBRO, Dr. Gamini Jatissa, said that the landslide warnings issued to Kegol, Ratnapura, Mathale, Padulla, Kandy, Nuwara and Kalutara districts has been extended until 5:30 this evening. He added that information has come to light with regard to new locations with landslide threats.
Central Province Security Commander Major General Manu Pereira said the operation restarted later despite the intermittent rain distribute the rescue operation. Meanwhile, 17,408 persons belonging to 4,476 families were affected due to the inclement weather condition in the country.
Yesterday evening, the National Building Research Organisation again extended the landslide early warning issued to 7 districts. This is regarding not the rainfall at once, but getting the antecedent rainfall during about 7 days in some areas. And we observed the cumulative rainfall is more than 500 millimeters, so that there's a big threat of landslide if any rain comes further, or even without a rain. So there's a possibility of occurring some slide. So at the end, Kegol, Ratnapura, Mathale, Kandy, Padulla, Nuwara and Kalutara district included this one. So today we are consulting and discussing with the meteorological department and with their data and our information. So we will take a decision in the evening whether we need to extend it further or not.
As the atmospheric disturbance is moving away from the island, thunder showers will be reduced. However, showers or thunder showers will occur at several places of the island during the afternoon. Showers will occur at several places in the coastal area extending from Pankasanturi to Galle via Mana and Colombo during the morning too. There may be temporary localized strong winds during thunder showers. General public is kindly requested to take adequate precaution to minimize the damages caused by lightning activities.
The deep and shallow sea areas of the coast extending from the Kankasanture to Galle via Trincomalee and Pothuil may be rough at times as winds can strengthen up to 50 to 60 kilometers per hour. The displaced persons have been provided temporary shelter at the Poonagar Tamil College, Poonagar Primary School, Poonagar Sinhala Mahavidyalaya and the Poonagar Kovil. The total number of those housed at these shelters stands at 1,100, of which 226 were resident Media-Badda. Dr. Ranasena Nayaka, the chairman of the conservationist group Rainforest Rescue International, says that the cause of the Koslanda tragedy can be traced back to 150 years ago. He made this observation in conversation with our news team.
Well, it's a whole sequence of events. The whole hill country is at risk. If you know, just a year ago or a little while ago, 2 years ago, We had problems in Walapani, similar. Earth was cracking, everything was getting eroded down. We had similar problems in Rattata. So what it tells us now is something is happening in our mountains that didn't happen before. 150 years ago, we took all the forests away from our mountains. This is the time of colonial expansion, coffee, tea, rubber of course. They cut all the forests down and they lost the topsoil, which was over 1 foot of topsoil. They lost the topsoil over our entire mountain range in the space of 30 to 40 years. We have weakened our soils now. Now we start creating disturbances in the soil through our activities of blowing up rocks in the neighborhood. When this happens, the slides will happen not only here, this is just a warning. Through the country, it will happen in areas which are very, very prone to sliding. It will accelerate. Well, we should first start to make some really, really sensitive maps of our disaster-prone, the slide-prone areas. Those areas should be taken out of the present system of production and moved into a more permanent system where the trees, plants, and the forest can then basically begin to stabilize the area. We should, in areas that are really, really weak, drain the surface water out and not allow the surface water to penetrate. Now, all these can be done with modern technology. It's not difficult at all. But it requires will. It requires political will to go out and want to make the changes. That is a shame. That is a shame. That they must, as a part of their duty as Sri Lankans, be out there to educate and build the knowledge base up. But I'm not surprised. I think we all should be. We all should be concerned. We are all responsible.
Various views are being expressed on the Koslanda landslide.
Landslide warnings were issued for this area in 2012 and 2011. We saw the manner in which the government used force to evacuate people in the city in the recent past. Why wasn't such force used to evacuate Tamil estate workers from these lands? We are demanding an answer from the government. In a respected country, when such a tragedy takes place, the ministers and the government resign. However, such ethics do not exist in our country. The National Building Research Organisation has identified several landslide-prone areas. We urge the government not to sacrifice any more lives to such disasters and take immediate steps to address the problem. The owners of these plantations are vested with the responsibility, and the problem is being passed from pillar to post by the ministry. There is no custodian in this country. The government does not take the responsibility. Why do we need a government that issues warnings and takes no action? Is this why the people have voted for them? We know that the NBRO issued a warning in 2005 and renewed the warning in 2011. We can see that it was stated recently that about 39 people were buried following the recent landslide in Media Badda. The number of dead could be higher than the current figure. We need to turn our attention to these areas. We know that in spite of the warnings, the people were not moved away from this area. They must be given an alternative. That is the responsibility of the government. It is our responsibility as public representatives. I am saddened to reveal this. There has been a minor landslide in the same area in 2012. The NBRO had warned that action needs to be taken, and based on this, the district secretary had informed the owners of the plantation regarding this. However, the management had not taken any decision regarding the warning. If the warning was heeded, a lot of lives may have been saved. As Minister Tissa Vitharana says, they had been aware that such a landslide could occur at this location and that there were people residing at this location. The fact that they stood by and let this loss of life happen shows that this was murder. The government is preparing to evict people in other areas for no reason at all. The people in the estates could have been evacuated. The army could have been deployed to evacuate them. The inaction of the government shows the complete disregard for these people. Through this, the government has shown that they have no use for the working people of this country, except for when they need something for themselves.
United Nations urged to abolish 18th Amendment passed by the Mahinda Rajapaksha's government.
In the recent statement, the United Nations says this amendment helps human rights violators to safeguard themselves from legal action. Report briefs on Sri Lanka's present situation and called upon to abolish 80th Amendment. Report further strayed to prove the freedom of judiciary sector. It also noted judiciary should not be dominated by the executive of parliament. Continuously mentioned many issues on Sri Lanka in their report, but Lankan government failed to respond in this regard.
The ruling Bharatiya Janata Party government of India's leader Subramaniam Swamy has written a letter to the Sri Lankan President Mahinda Rajapaksa by monitoring that he would like to visit Sri Lanka on 24th of November.
Subramaniam Swamy also mentioned in his letter that he would decide to meet the Sri Lankan President on 25th of November. In order to participate and speak at the memorial lecture of their former cabinet minister Lalit Athulatmudali, Subramaniam Swamy is planning his trip to Sri Lanka. Another intention of Subramaniam Swamy visiting Sri Lanka is also discussed about the recent death sentence given to the Indian fishermen by the Sri Lankan government and to transfer this fisherman case to India to take it up for further investigation.
State intelligence unit officials have hid the truth on research conducted by them on number of votes obtained by the president in upcoming presidential election. A Buddhist clergy served as a presidential advisor has obtained these details. Sinhala website report.
According to intelligence unit reports, President Rajapaksa will obtain 44-46 billion votes in the presidential election. However, reports handed over to the president includes the highest numbers of votes. Buddhist monks were unable to receive further information on highest numbers of votes included in the reports. Within 2 weeks' time of submitting the budget proposal, State Intelligence Unit members will submit another report towards President. According to the reports, President will finalize the date of the presidential poll, sources said.
India's High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Y.K. Singha, on Tuesday met the 5 Indian fishermen who have been sentenced to death by a court in Colombo for alleged drug trafficking. The envoy, who visited Valikara prison in Colombo on Tuesday morning, met the 5 fishermen at the superintendent office, where he handed over some clothes and toiletries and inquired about their welfare, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Syed Akbaruddin said in New Delhi. He assured them to unassisted support and cooperation of Government of India in ensuring that their case receives the utmost attention. He also assured them that the government will make all effort to secure their early release and repatriation to India, he said. The 5 Indian fishermen, Emerson, P. Augustus, R. Wilson, K. Prasad and J. Langlet, all hailing from Tamil Nadu, were apprehended in 2011 and were sentenced to death by the Colombo High Court on October 13, 2014 for alleged drug trafficking. The court ruling had triggered fiery protest in part of Tamil Nadu, and sporadic violence broke out in and around Rameshwaram Island as a large number of people staged protest against the Sri Lanka court's verdict. Coming up next, segment Island-wide in few seconds. A couple has died after being struck by lightning in the Veeravilla area in Tantirimale, Anuradhapura. The incident had occurred when the couple was working in their cultivation ground. According to the Katunayaka Airport custom officials report, 3 passengers were trying to smuggle 11 golden biscuits worth of rupees 55 lakhs through their luggage, but they were caught by the Katunayaka Airport custom officials, and all the 3 of them are made to pay penalties. The Sabaragama University, that had been closed for more than 3 weeks, reopened on 27th, the university administration said. 3 women were killed at Rathota in Matale when a tree fell on them which they were working on the tea estate. They said another woman who has injured in the incident was admitted in Rathota hospital. The pavilion in a luxury hotel owned by star cricketer Tilakaratne Divishan was declared open by President Mahinda Rajapaksa at Stafford Avenue, Kiralapana. He's a powerful speaker and draw huge crowds. He talks about himself in the third person. He is possibly the most energetic leader India has had in a while, burning the midnight oil and campaigning for his party with equal favor. He also an astute performer. Recently, he dropped into a police station and picked up a broom to promote a campaign to clean up India. Behind the bluster and performance, he, according to insiders, is a loner who trusts his instinct, but very few people. Narendra Modi is also possibly India's most powerful leader after Indira Gandhi, the mercurial former Prime Minister. Some 80% of people in England support having more powers devolved to local areas, a poll on evolution commissioned by the BBC has suggested. The poll also suggested 66% support the ideas of allowing only PMs from England to vote on laws in the Westminster Parliament that affect only England. Congress spoke to almost 3,000 adults in England by telephone between 17 and 27 October. The government said it wanted to shift power into the hands of local people. The Scottish independence campaign has ignited debate as to whether other parts of the UK should have more says on their futures. James Anderson has been ruled out on England's one-day series against Sri Lanka later this month as he continues to recover from a knee injury.
Yes, gone. James Anderson back in the team. What a wicket. It's a poor stroke, it has to be said, from Sachin Tendulkar, who never looked comfortable at the crease. India 28 for 3.
Runs in the series, and it looked as if he's prepared for a big one. And Anderson does the trick. Pitch far wide outside the off stump. Sachin fishing it.
The Lancashire Seamers hopes to be fit for the tri-series against Australia and India in January and the ICC Cricket World Cup in February. The 32 years old will travel to South Africa in December to rehabilitation with the England Performance Programme. At present, he will not be replaced in a squad for the Sri Lanka tour.
Inside edge, I think. Oh, he's given!
Let's have a look. Was there an inside edge? No, I don't think there was. Good decision, Steve Buckner catching Tendulkar on the crease. And that's going on to hit Midland leg stump. No question that that is going on to hit the stumps. Good decision and well bowled, James Anderson.
Gone, yes. Caught by Strauss. Anderson has the breakthrough. So.
Regulation outside edge, Andrew Strauss, no mistake. Takes it comfortably, Jimmy Anderson picks up his third wicket.
That's for the news today. Have a pleasant evening. Good night.